Hello, good morning. Setting up ready. Welcome to my channel. I'm Chris Kilue, streaming from Querétaro, Mexico. So here we are. I'm trying to get my throat working. Okay, let me get to see if I am live. Set up my messages because I only have main messages here. I don't know why. Okay, I'm going to send this one as okay. I'm testing. I can see myself here on my channel. So my voice is going to be a disaster today. Hello, Heather. Welcome. Thank you for coming in. I'm setting up ready. My cats are making a mess here. Kika is here. She's going to probably be sleeping, but Nico is going to be just messing around. So again, welcome. I'm Chris Kilue, streaming from Querétaro, Central Mexico. So today is practically a very, very short session. I just want to show you what I did. That was not much. I've been recovering from this trendy virus, both Dad and me. So it's really, really tiring. I can just say that because I had not only to take care of myself, but take care of my dad. So that was the situation. So I started this one on Wednesday, and it was interesting because it was for one of my classes. And my student is really getting so good at watercolor. She is already in the stage of finding photos in the internet and using watercolor to paint. So it's fantastic. And the good news is that I'm going to be getting a new student on the same day that she comes. It is her sister-in-law. So I'm going to start again giving drawing classes, and that's going to be so, so interesting. But this is what I did. This is a reference posted on Beth's Facebook group. So I like it. The original didn't have ears, and it had a shamrock coming from its mouth. I didn't like that, so I just didn't paint that one. But anyway, I used here watercolors and Derwent ink tents that I have somewhere here. Okay, so anyway, it's it's a hard coming back. I totally agree, Heather. It is. It is. You feel that you're okay, but in reality, you feel really tired, and that happens with any virus. I have a very, very sensitive stomach, so whenever I have a stomach ache or something, I really don't feel like doing anything, and you really, really lose your drive. You really cannot tell if you really want to paint or draw or do something. It's just so, so tiring. I'm planning to use this side for testing a little bit of wash, probably doing the same image, but trying to see if wash works with this one. So let me put this one aside. And I do need to feel better, Heather, because this week, the first batch of courses is coming to an end. But next week, on March 21st, we start the new courses in the semester. I teach at university English as foreign language, and I do need to be with almost 100% energy for next week have a new level. So we can say intermediate level of English. So they are not really good or they speak that much. So they really do need a lot of energy. And this one, let me tell you a little bit about this one. This particular deer was experimenting a technique created by Mary from the Mary Atelier. And she just showed me the use of gel pens. And gel pens are not permanent, different to Sharpies. So the good thing about this is that gel pens can be water activated with these brushes. We call them pinceles in Spanish. And it's very interesting because you can get to activate certain areas and produce some grays, but it all depends on the pigments. I suggest that you test your gel pens on a different piece of paper and see if the black is a real black or if it has got kind of a shadow blue tint, sometimes brown. Not because the line is black, it means that when you activate it with water, it will be black. I don't have here the other gel pens that I bought for this experiment, but I have a black one that when you activate it with water, it has kind of a blue tint, so it's interesting. And I'm planning to get color gel pens to see if they change a little bit with the activation of water. So thanks, Mary. Thanks a lot. I hope that you watch the replay and get to see this because this is really cool. It is, right, Heather? I know. It was really interesting. This area here is just the gel pen activated, and the color areas, let me see if I can pull this through. The color areas are the Derwent pan set colors. Oops, sorry about the glare. This one is laminated with plastic, so I can put it here. Okay, so if you do have already colored gel pens or something like that, go ahead and try it, Heather, and let me know. I don't have any, and right now it's not yet school season at our shopping centers. No, I have a Walmart. Not very good with art and books, unfortunately. It's more a grocery store. And I have got an HEV like around 6-7 miles away from my house. I'm not very close to any major big shopping centers, and it's not yet school season. And I normally get a lot of school supplies when the kids are about to end school or enter school. So I think the next one is going to be around, let me think, we're in March. It's going to be probably around June when they start getting out those school supplies. So I'll be able to get a good offer on gel pens that is not that expensive. And the next one is, of course, in August. Yeah, August is the biggest one because the kids normally go back early September, last day of August. It all depends. But anyway, I just wanted to show you this. The Inktense, of course, will activate in combination with the gel pen. So you have to be very careful in certain areas. Here, it's mostly gel pen and a little bit of Derwent. Here the deer had more white, so here I just went crazy and activated everything. So that was not a good idea. But anyway, I like the effect on the eyes and the ear. The ear, I try not to go through this much. But anyway, and this was just the cartoon. This was almost a month ago that we did this one. I have not even signed this, but I think I'll do that after I finish the stream. So I just wanted to show you how cool this technique is, and it can be used just with a gel pen and maybe 60 or more colors. I just got rid of them because I didn't know about this technique. But anyway, and what I want to do today is just mostly showing you a little bit about these tips for sketching. Let me just put this away because I'm going to be using this one again. And to eliminate a little bit of glare, I'll put this one here. And I'm going to, thank you so much, Heather. Thank you. I'm just going to show you a little bit on this. I hope that my lamp desk doesn't glare that much. Let me just double check here. Keep it at an angle where everybody can see this during the replay. So this is a very, very old iPad. It's like 10 years old, but it's still good for certain things. So I'm going to keep it at this angle. How you can see my ceiling lamps here. So a friend of mine told me about these two sites. One is called Sketch Daily References, and in the description later on, I'll probably give you the links to the sites. And this site can be used in any language. I changed it to English because of the streaming. I normally use it in Spanish because it detects my IP. So it goes automatically into Spanish. But today I just change it to English. So what do we have here? We have certain options to work, and you can choose humans, animals, structures, vegetation. Here you can choose the gender if you want them with clothes or if you want to practice nudes, poses, views, and you can also set the timing for your sketches. These are very, very good exercises for you to get a very, very loose way of sketching really fast because you have a time limit. If you want to do something more in detail, you can even go to 60 minutes, so definitely with no time. So this friend normally recommends to work between 1 or 2 minutes to go and have basic sketches. So I'm going to go for 1 minute, and I don't feel like sketching people here today. Options. I'm not very good at birds, so eventually I will probably go and sketch something just dedicated to birds, but let's keep it in all. Categories. You can sketch living animals or just bones or skeletons. Then all views. If you want to practice just one particular one, go and choose your favorite. I'm going to keep it all. And well, let's do 2 minutes because it's too early in the morning for me. So let's see. Here it tells you the number of images that you have to work with. And let's click on start. So there you go. You have your timer here. You have your reference photo, which is so cool. And then you can start sketching. This, of course, I'm showing this to you, so I'm not going to sketch until I show you the other side that I have also in store. But this is a nice bird. For sketching, I normally use graphite, and I have 2Bs or HBs. I have bigger pencils like this now, but I like to use them until they're like mini. I also use the Graphitones that are water activated. I also use mechanic pencil, which is good. I have my eraser here just in case. And as some of these are water activated, some sketches can just go and have a little bit more presentation. You can see the timer is running. I'm just trying to wait for you to see when it changes. And I think that the 2 minutes or 1 minute, depending on how you want to challenge yourself, it's a good timing because you can get the basic structure of the bird, basic features. You don't have to be that detailed. You don't have to go into color. That's not the idea. But if you do want to have this one just finished as a very, very well done animal portrait, you can do it. And it's about to change. It's like 10 seconds left. Okay. Then I think it's a really good idea. And as here you can choose, and you can see how it changes. Just fades out, fades in. And now we have squirrel, and you can even make it bigger. Okay, just be very careful with changing your proportions if you enlarge your screen. Okay, just be very careful because you cannot just go and start drawing like this and later just make it bigger. That's not a good idea. For a sketch drawing, try to keep the same proportions. Hello, Miriam. Welcome. Don't worry, we have been talking a little bit about this. So I'm going to stop this one. You can see it stopped and it goes back into the main page. So don't forget, this is called Sketch Daily References, and it's a really good site to practice your sketching. And the other one that we have here, it's called Line of Action. I'm very close to my modem, so here you go. This one is a little bit different, but you have got a lot of, let me just organize this because this iPad is heavier than the other one. It's 10 years old, so it's heavier than the one that I have here as my camera. You have a warning in case you don't like to draw nude models, male and female. Okay. But here you have a blog of what is new. It's a very nice site, comes in different languages, as you can see. This one is not going back to Spanish. It doesn't detect my IP, but you can use it with your favorite language. Here you have classes, you have forums, you have frequently asked questions. You can create an account. Haven't done that. Okay. You have a tutorial that tells you how to use the site. And then as the previous one, you have options. So here you have got mostly figures. I'm just going to go for covered models. And And you can see it's inclusive. You can use babies, kids, teenagers, or adults. I'm going to include all genders as they are covered, but let's go into this one. If you have the subscription, you have more options. Then you can choose the session that you would like to have, and it tells you warm up, classes. There you go. You have break times. Here you can put seconds. Here you got a maximum of 10 minutes. So I'm going to go into the 2 minutes and recommended books. I mean, this is a nice site if you want to practice models or human body things. So there you go. And you can get to see that here, this is a difficult pose because of the perspective it has got, not just because of the chair, but also the leg position that you have. You have controls here as well. I'm not going to wait until the 2 minutes, just when it's really, really close. But you can go into different ones. This one is called lineofaction.com. And you can fast forward if you finish fast. You have different models. They have props, and you have credits for these. Okay, so I'm going to put this one in the chat. This one is called Line of Action, and I'm going to put the .com because you know that YouTube sometimes goes with certain things there. So it's really cool. You can go and change. The poses here are difficult, but I'm going to show you more or less what I do to sketch with this. Okay, so it tells you if. Then if you want to enroll, you can create a free account and things like that. I'll probably do that later. So this one is Line of Action, and the other one that has got animals, I'm going to put it also in the chat. So we have Sketch Daily.net. It's going to be a little bit complicated to put all of them, but here you go. So what to do? Well, if you have a tablet and you have got the option to put it in stand-up position, you will be able to see a little bit of this iPad here. You might not be able to see all the reference as I draw because my camera doesn't have like view over there, but let's see what we can do. Okay, and as I was mentioning, we're going to get, or I'm going to get a new student this Wednesday, and I wanted to show you a little bit what I do before sketching a little bit. So these are notebooks that I use for my drawing classes. I use the Betty Edwards method and some of the things that I learned before. So what do we normally do? Well, I'm going to be using 2 notebooks here. Well, first of all, I don't ask my students to buy fancy things. Just ask them for basic pencils, ID graphite HB, 2B, and probably a 4B. mechanic pencil, one eraser, and that's it. So we start warming up. We always warm up the first sessions. We learn about how intense you can go with pencils, the different characteristics of HB to B, 4B. We'll learn about line, we'll learn about different planes. We do hand warm-ups. Okay. And let me see if I'm still live because I got a message here. We work with different lines. And then we start with certain instructions for different drawings. They don't have things here because that's what I'm going to show you here. We have homework. We do have homework. Draw a person without any reference, draw a head. If it's your own head, it's okay. Then we also draw a human in any position that you wish, and a chair from home. So these are examples from different levels. I normally work with the students. This is from this year. You can see some of the dates are in January. We work with profiles. We work with the Monster Profile by Betty Edwards. We work with sketching with different lines. We also work with contours. I also give them homework related to how to use shadows, special effects using erasers. So you can have highlights, some scratching methods that we have, zigzag. I mean, the different things that you can do with graphite is amazing. We use also visors. So these visors are like what we do with the cameras, you know, we make them with paper and we can just use them to just decide what we're going to do. So it can be a hand visor, but it's more complicated. So we use it with paper. And then we work with a little bit of shadowing planes. We start with basic geometrical figures, and you can get to see that some of them are from this level. Cylinders, shadows, we have pyramids, cones, different ways to go from clear tones to dark tones. This is an HB, we have 2B, a 4B. That's why I tell you that I didn't use fancy things. More composition things that we have. And working with these things until more or less the student has got an idea of how to work with this. We finish with some composition rules, the rule of thirds, then the golden section that we know in Spanish as sección áurea. And we also start working a little bit with perspective. We do the final graphite project. It's something like this, to use different texture. Graphite glares, it's not really that dark, but we use different textures, the white of the paper, very, very dark things here. We use charcoal here. So it's just a matter of practicing. And this was the final project. And then we moved into watercolor because that's what my first student wanted. She wanted to work with watercolor, so that's what we did. This is an older one. So here you have some of the instructions that we did. Person from your imagination with no reference. Then this one was a very interesting one. If you want to practice this exercise or these exercises, that would be the case. Person from your imagination, no reference, and draw them as much time as you need. This one, the second one, is really good. You have to watch a movie, but you cannot sketch during the movie. What you have to do is pay attention to one character. And the moment the movie finishes, then you try to draw that character. So this was from a movie called The King of Ping Pong or Table Tennis, Swedish movie that I found. I never found it again, but this was the main character, this boy. So as much time as you need. But the most important thing is don't draw, don't sketch while you're watching. You have to do this by memory. The next one, your own hand. So if you're right-handed, put your left hand easy position, draw it, try to get as many details as you can. Should be much detail, but as many details as you can. And a chair from home. So there you go. These are the 4 initial exercises, and the rest is more or less the same. Profiles, then we have some good tips about inverted drawing, especially if you have perception problems, a way to get rid of the control of the left brain, because it's the one that says that drawing is not good for survival. So it's doing drawings upside down. And even if you draw like in the correct view, you always flip to check that your proportions are okay. This notebook has got more detailed things. This is normally the one that I show the students, and then the other one that I have that I showed before is to practice, because this one is like the teaching one. Still some areas that are not finished. And then we work with the contour method by Betty Edwards. So all these are contour drawings. I will probably explain that in a different streaming. And you have the modified contour drawing, which is something really, really interesting to practice. And it's when you go into realistic drawings. We have negative spaces here. We have planes. We have inverted and negative spaces here. Fragments with texture. And then we go and do a little bit of frottage. That one is, or frottage. I don't know if that's the correct pronunciation, but it's kind of a French word. It's really, really interesting. I don't have anything to do this technique right now, but I'll show it to you later on. We have more textures, how to simulate different textures, inverted drawings with a lot of shadows. That's why my pencils are like this. Okay, I need to get a new set of these cheaper pencils. And we have got more figures, but in this case with reflection. The tables were reflecting like different shadows and highlighting. This was challenging when we did this one with my student. Hands, those are difficult. Drawing hands, it's very challenging. So I normally sketch a lot of hands. Then we go into textures. This student wanted graphite, so that's why we did a lot of graphite. And then she went back to school, so we really didn't finish much here. Okay, so that's what I can tell you about the method that I use for drawing, which is not necessarily the only method around, you know, it's just one of the methods. So let me tell you what we're doing right now. You can get to see a little bit of my iPad here. I'm using Sketch Daily because I really don't want to draw people right now. I don't feel like drawing humans, you know. And I think I'm going to go into choosing again animals, all species, then living animals, all poses. I'm going to be working with 2 minutes, and I'm going to be working, I'm going to show you a little bit of the reference. So have a couple of birds there. Another site that I use, it's called Pixabay. But let's see what we can do here. I'm not going to be using all the paper for this because these are just sketches. So normally what I do here is that I identify, I'm just going to draw one of the birds. It's a little one here. The eye is somewhere here. Just sketching a little bit of basic forms. You're probably going to notice that I'll go a little bit silent. It's normal because it's when you are getting into the drawing zone. The head was too pointy. Sometimes they tell you not to do it, but there you go. Hello, Raul, welcome. We're sketching a little bit. I hope my hand is not covering this much. This is a rocky bottom close to a river here, so no big deal. But here we have more or less the first bird. This is going to be darker. I'm just sketching basic figures, not worrying too much about the details. I think the leg goes somewhere here. I have less than 17 seconds left. I'm not going to draw the other one, but over here, there should be another fluffy friend. There you go. Okay, I think this one's good for a nice sketch. All right, here we have another one. This one, it's a bald eagle. The photo is really, really dark, so I cannot really see very well the wingspan. But as these animals have got very, very symmetrical wingspans, could be looking something like this. The legs are here. Then now something interesting about these sketches is I really don't mind if they are overlapped, you know, because they are sketches. These are not finished pieces. And as I'm just working with a 2-minute timer here, the only thing that I want to get correct is more or less the shape. It's just to practice a little bit, just to get your hand get loose sometimes. I have drawn birds before, so I know more or less how the feathers go, like here, but I haven't been following bald eagles. So, no, Raul, we are totally live. Today we are live. So this is not pre-recorded, but you can watch the replay because we got to see some interesting things before. And I'm just using right now an HB. Okay, I have 8 seconds for this image, but you can see that I normally finish before the 2 minutes, and that's the goal. Oh, look at this one. This is a monkey. There you go. Okay, so let's see. What about this one? Okay, it has got a cute little face. And something that is difficult for me when I'm doing these sketches is trying not to go into the perfectionist state that I normally use, you know. I tend to be very, very perfectionist. And then I start saying, oh my God, I should do this, I should do that. But as this is a sketch, I'll try not to go into details. There are going to be mistakes, of course. Hello, Dana. Thank you for coming. Good morning. So we're just trying to get the main look of this little monkey. You can set these things to more minutes, even to 1 hour, if you want to get all the details done. I just want to get this flurry friend here. Okay. Thank you, Miriam. It's just practice, you know. I don't want to give a lot of detail to Mr. Monkey here because I only have 2 minutes. So I have in this moment 7 seconds. So these are just quick sketches. I'll probably go and change page here. Okay, we have a Mr. Duck here. I'll try to show it to you. So there we go. And here, when some of the photos are a little bit confusing, then I normally start with lines and just basic figures that I get to see. I'm not really aiming for something that is more elaborated. What you can do later on is find the image on this website and then just go around and make this a little bit more detailed. Because as you sketch, you're going to see if there are mistakes or not, where's the position of the eye and the position of, in this case, the beak, more or less the line. I like these dogs. I think they are really cute animals with a lot of color. We have a leaf there, but I'm not going to go into a lot of detail there. The position of the animal, it's a little bit strange because of water. So normally what I do is that I double check the relationship between leg and feathers. Leave some dark colors here. I'm not sure if this is part of the bird or is part of the river bed that we have there. But anyway, as I just want to establish some basic forms, there you go. Oh my God, more birds. And I chose a lot of animals. But anyway, here we have another bald eagle. So this one I find a little bit complicated to pose. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to draw this one properly in less than 2 minutes. I just started really big. So I'm just going to establish probably just the legs here, right at the bottom, the tail. Okay, probably give a little bit more emphasis to this. Okay, so there you go. I'm not reading chat that much. I have like 1 minute left here. And something that you can also do here with these sketching sites is that you can decide if you just want to establish basic forms, or if you just go directly and practice certain elements. Like, you can probably say, okay, I'm going to give these 5 minutes and maybe just go and establish the beak and eye relationship. Okay, so it changed. Oh no, it's not. It's my iPad that is going. So there we go. Okay. More or less. I mean, it looks like an eagle, and that's the important thing. That's what we're sketching here. 3 seconds. There you go. Let's see. Ooh, I don't like this one. I don't like birds. That's right. And they're showing me a lot of birds. Okay. So when you don't like something, just go and change them. All right. This one is quite interesting. It's a ferret. There you go. Okay. So this one, sometimes you look at the animals and you think, oh, this one is going to be particularly easy. And then you start drawing this and you discover that it's nothing easy about it. Okay. So there you go. This animal has a very pointy nose, the head, and the ear is like here. The eye more or less goes here. It's a little bit dark. This is the other ear. And then the fight is that I'm trying to guide you through in English, but then some not very good at certain parts of the body in English. So I'm also trying to fight the translation. Okay, I have 46 seconds here, but I think the animal is in a certain way established. So there you go. Interesting. 27 seconds. I don't like this, how it turned out. I like the face, but I'm not establishing a lot of shadows here. I think my cats would go crazy if I get a ferret. Plus, they are very expensive animals to keep. I have friends who have ferrets, and definitely they tell me that they are quite expensive. Okay, this one, I think it's a chipmunk. I think that's the name. And these are kind of rodents. So there you go. The head is a little bit complicated here already. Got big eye here, small little nose. What I find problematic with these rodents, with chipmunks, are the hands or the legs. Ooh, this one looks like a monster already, but well. More or less the tail comes like this. And I just remember that there was a Disney cartoon of chipmunks, and don't ask me, I never liked them. Chip and Dale. I never liked that cartoon. I found the voices irritating, and I don't know. Probably for me, talking about small little rodents like this, not good. Okay, so there you go. And now that I'm drawing this one, I don't like it that much. I don't like how the markings and the colors go. but the tail's not finished. 9 seconds. So I won't finish this one. Okay. But this is more or less the idea. Oh, more birds. Okay. There you go. Okay, so let me check this out. We're getting close to an hour, but I don't like more birds here. And right now the program is giving me a lot of birds. Oh, and I want something different. Okay, I got a mountain goat. These are interesting. So let's see what we can do here. Very, very squared kind of body. It's got a lot of fur. It's got a very strange bird here. And sorry if I don't show the reference that much, but I have the iPad exactly in the position that I needed. And I'm just going to pay a little bit more attention to the horns, maybe. They kind of look symmetrical, but not that much. This big guy has got a very interesting head, nose, eye relationship. Probably made the eye too big, so I'm going to make it quite small again. So there we go. We have 35 seconds for this sketch. So I'm just going to go and add a lot of fur. Something here that is probably shedding. I think once I read a fairy tale about these goats or something like that. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. Lots of hair. 9 seconds. So there you go. Okay. So I'm going to stop this one. I'm going to stop this practice. And I'm going to tell you again about the sites for the people who came in late. So there you go. Okay. So we have Sketch Daily references. And let me move this one and I'll put it back. This one, as mentioned before, you can choose humans, animals, vegetation, different things. I haven't shown you vegetation, so I think I'm going to show you this one. And there are not so many. There are just 16 images, but you can go and practice with a lot of different things here and set your class time accordingly. Then I'm going to show you structure. There are not so many as well, but as you can see, you can set it up to 60 minutes or more. Ideally, you should practice between 1 or 2 minutes to get your warming up, to get your eyes, good observation powers. Okay, this one. Okay, the timer is loading. There you go. You have buildings, things like this, houses. You decide. You can even zoom these, so it's good. But as I said before, don't zoom and later you zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, zoom out, because then you're going to confuse yourself and you won't have the correct proportions. So there you go. You can practice with this one. And the other side that I also recommended, okay. Yes, Caroline, thank you. I didn't see you coming, so welcome. It's a very, very good practice. Quick drawing. It's like the backbone. And there you can go and detail something that you like. This one is basically just for humans, okay? And here you can practice all models, nude, covered, or all genders. You can practice babies, children, teenagers, time of session that you want. This is what I like about this one is that it doesn't reset. It goes just directly what you decided to do. And you get your models. Okay, this side has got very interesting poses. You have dancers, you have gymnasts. You have a very, very good way to do this as a reference. Okay, so what is suggested with a human drawing, and I'm going to put this one here and go back into my notebook here, change page. What is suggested, I don't think I'll have enough time to finish this one because I have 1 minute and 30 seconds. But here, let me use another one. What you can do is just practice kind of line of action. Identify the spinal cord, identify the relationship between the parts of the body, how they interact. These small little dots just go into practicing a little bit of chest figure, how the hand goes, the neck, the head. And you can practice here just some line figure like this. And later you can go back and build a little bit more of the figure. Okay, so just like kind of a skeleton figures, just to get to see. Let me stop this one a little bit and pause it before it changes. It's not correctly drawn, of course, but I just don't want this one to glare that much. I hope you can see it here. I'm just going to check. What you can do with human figure is just establish spinal cord relationship, pelvis, chest relationship, how the joints are connected. Okay, this one is not visible because it's behind the chest line, but we can see the elbow, we can see the wrist, hands, and more or less once you establish how a figure is built, then you can go and put some flesh here. How can you do that? Well, this one is paused, so it's not going to change. As you can see, it's paused. Later on, you can do something like this that is just with, I'm going to put it here so you can see it, things like this that will establish volume. You can establish volume, and later you can go and, doesn't have to be neat, you just have to understand your own sketch. Later on you can establish shadows. So this is one method. Let me change image. Oh, here we have a ballet dancer, but this one is complicated. I want something easy. So I'm pausing this one, and normally what I do is that establish first the lines on how this figure could be moving. Then one knee is before the other one. This one is behind. This one is looking there. The arm relationship. So one is going down, the other one is going up. Of course, here there are a lot of mistakes, and it's expected to have mistakes. I haven't drawn human figures for a long time, so this is just me establishing a little bit of what I mentioned, that is the spinal cord relationship, the neck. The head is not even finished, so I'm not even going to put the hair, but you can do it. And I just want to establish this relationship, like the chest, pelvis, legs, the knees, the ankles, by the elbows and hands. And that's how you can do this. That's how you can practice human figure. Okay. Hello, Joni. Welcome. Thank you for coming. And that's basically what I wanted to show you today. Let me just put this here, because I'm not going to make a long session today because of this little thing that I'm still recovering from, and because I have to do a lot of delayed shopping. But I hope that you can get to see, oh, my lamp is glaring there, sorry. You get to see the benefit of working with these two sides, line of action, and still has 21 seconds. I'm going to stop, not joining this one. So 2 recommended sites, line of action, really good for human figures, and sketch daily, where you have vegetation, architecture, because that's a structure, you have animals. And I didn't show you body parts. Now that I can tell you. Body parts, okay, you have heads, feet, hands. Hands, definitely you can practice female, male. Positions, okay, it's challenging to go and do all the positions. I'm just going to choose 1 minute. There are not so many as you can get to see, but still, this is good practice for a hand, okay? And you can go with different ways of drawing hands. Some people use the method of sausages for drawing hands. Let's see if I remember. I just have 30 seconds here, but they normally establish the shape of the hand, and then they use kind of sausages for establishing the fingers and things like that. And later you just build on this. You build your nail, your different parts of the hand. I'm not good at those names right now. You're probably going to tell me that. But anyway, this is a good option, right? And you can practice just basic things. As you can see, it changes, and it goes into hands with objects, with props, uh, complicated sometimes. You can take these sessions as you wish. You can go and practice just one particular detail, do very, very quick drawings like we did here. Let me go back to the things we did here. The monkey, the bird, this eagle. Okay. Then dog and our eagle, the ferret. So I'm quite happy with these sketches. I think the shape of the animal is established after not drawing for almost 3 weeks. I think it's good. I like these skeleton drawings. I think they are really good. I'm going to show you something that I did before that is a long time ago. And also hands. I need to go and practice with hands. Okay. So let me show you. Here we're going to have some information here that probably I'll try to cover some of these numbers here. But this is another way of working with human body. This is from 2004, 2005. So I was just starting to work with human figures, and I was aiming this to manga. So you can get to see that it's old, but it's effective to establish, right, the waist, the chest, pelvis, and all the joints. In some cases, here I started with the head and establishing where the eyebrows, the eyes, nose, the eyes would be. And here you have another thing that you can do later on. This is also from 2006, 2007. Okay, how to get human body in boxes. These are not very well proportioned, but they were initial sketches. Remember, there some of the poses that could be complicated are very easily drawn if you establish some of these relationships here. Okay, so there you go. This is what we had for today. I don't know, this notebook has got, this one has got a lot of old drawings from 2010. I don't know if you would like to see them to close this session. I can probably show you some of them. This is from 2010. Looks like ages, right? There you go. Some crazy cats faces from books that I practice. Another cat. More than 10 years ago. Oh my God. I didn't remember about these cats. They're more comic style. Definitely. But they're cute. They're cute. Everything is graphite here. Some fish. Okay, thank you, Caroline. Thank you, Caroline, for the thing. Some fish, some cartoony fish that I was sketching. I've forgotten about all this. But there you go. I hope they can be seen properly. Because let me go and change a little bit the light. Less intense. Because it glares too much. Okay. Some practice with expressions. And then a friend told me, you should go and practice some typical cartoons. So I decided to go and copy some drawings of Mickey Mouse. So these are character studies. You go and find references of the characters and you try and draw them. So there you go. So all of them, all these are character studies. So they help you also establish cartoony proportions. The cartoon proportions, it's similar to a child proportion, a real child proportion. So this would be the real proportion of a child. A child is normally like this, big head, 1/3, and then 2/3 or 2 heads with the body. And you can go back and see it's the same proportion with Garfield. It's 1/3, 2/3, or 2 heads. And a real child, if you have your own kids, nieces, nephews, little cousins, you can get to see that proportion. And it changes when we grow up. But for kids, that's what it is. And that's why we find them cute. So even Winnie Pooh has got same proportions. The head and a little bit of the body. Okay. I don't like Winnie Pooh that much. And all these are taken from Cartoon Network. So just observing the character, finding a reference on your internet, draw them. This one is not very well drawn, but I love Dexter. That was my favorite cartoon some time ago. And then the Coyote, he was really fun. Okay, it was really, really fun. My sister used to like Bob. So that's why I drew that one for her mostly. And also for one of my nieces. She loved that one. She's now 16, 17, so she doesn't like this anymore. But when she was a kid, she liked this so much. Okay. Some realistic head proportions here, but I'm not going to go into this right now because this requires a complete session, and I really need to go back and relearn, practice this before I can tell you about this. And these are just random cartoony sketches, including an alien. I don't know why these are there. I got a set of crayons and I just started doodling. This was certainly around Halloween time, for sure. So, and I don't have crayons anymore. So anyway, okay, I always have information here that we should not get to see, but this is using Sharpies, color Sharpies, but there you go. And color pencils in some cases. Nothing definite or finished here. More figures. These are very tiny sketches. Very tiny sketches. Ooh, we have a new figure, but nothing is there to be seen, so no problem. Okay, just very crazy sketches here. Some dinosaurs, koala. This one was not finished, but you can get to see that you can have fun with this. Unicorns. There you go. Probably this was going to be for a story or a character or something because they have names here. I might try and prepare something related to horses for next Sunday. Poppy. There you go. This one's fun. Because I like drawing horses. And they are not difficult to draw. They just need a method. And that's it. Some stencils, crazy faces. My fish are coming here back, as you can get to see. They have different species. They're in Spanish, of course. But you have the harlequin one, the seahorse, the parrotfish, trumpetfish, stingray. I'm trying to translate it. I see this in Spanish. Sometimes I'm good, sometimes I'm not good at translating at the same time. I try to think in English all the time. So here I have some examples with hands, some heads. This is also from 2000, probably 2016 when I was experimenting with these. But there you go. More cartoony faces here. Here's when I was watching Monsters University when the movie came out. Because I like Mike. Oh my god, he's annoying sometimes, but I think he's a very good character. I prefer Mike than Sully, definitely. Sully is like a cat, and I have got cats, so that's why I'm probably not attracted to that one. Okay, more faces in this. Okay, then I'm certainly I have not continued drawing digitally, Miriam, but that would be a good option. I really love the way graphite pencils and everything just go and scratch the surface of paper. I'm not good at digital, but anyway, there you go. So we're about to finish this flip through. This paper is thicker because now we're back into this. So there you go, guys. I think I'm going to stop here because it's almost 7:30 to give you some time to go and refresh a little bit. Miriam is next. She starts at around 8. So let me just filter again all the messages and see if I can put something here. So don't forget that Miriam is next and that she's going to show us, I don't know what you're going to show, Miriam, but let's see if I can copy your channel here. Let me just double check because I have to go back to my other phone that it works much better than the Android. I don't know why. Just don't ask me why. But whenever I use Android, it just drives me nuts. So I'm going to share Miriam's channel because she's next. Okay. Hi, Becky. Welcome. Nice to see you here. I know it's early. It's an early kind of streaming, but sometimes I just don't have enough time to do something there. Okay. So let me go and see. Restart my Android here. Let me go to my live one. Okay, go back to my channel and open this one again so I can get the chat here. Okay, so there you go. I have more notebooks and flip throughs to show you. I just have to find them. Okay, and definitely I totally agree. Oh, you have the time change. Okay, so let me tell you something. Mexico decided not to do any more time savings. Last year in October, the government decided that because of our latitude, we are really not getting any savings in electricity. On the contrary, I think we're getting more spending. So the government decided that not anymore, that starting this year, uh, there was no more change. We were supposed to be doing this as you did, Becky, but I'm so happy that right now we have natural light at 6:15 in the morning, that we are going to have this schedule, that we're going to suffer with our bodies changing this. So it's going to be really, really nice. Okay, guys, so I'm going to stop here, but you're welcome to watch the replay, see what I shown early in the morning. So you could get to see this sketching. And next Sunday, we are going to work with horses. I think I'm going to prepare a session dedicated with horses and unicorns or Pegasus or things like that. And I'll see you at Miriam's. Okay, so thank you very much and see you around. Okay, so bye and thanks for coming. See you guys. Thank you.